from El Hamdolil Allah, who writes, and I quote, I am a Jew, and I admit solemnly that Palestinian people did exist thousands of years ago. We came from Egypt, and we took their land with Moses, who passed through these people, and they found them worshiping stones and statues, and our people said, oh, Moses, oh, please, Moses, can you make us God, unquote. First of all, you're not a Jew. I don't believe you're a Jew. If you are, then you're the most retarded, sick Jew I've ever seen in my life, because you sound just like a Muslim here. You're quoting what Muslims say. And you're even calling yourself El Hamdolil Allah. That's a Jew? What type of Jew calls himself Allah? I mean, who do you think you're kidding? Who do you think you're kidding? A Palestinian people existed thousands of years ago? Even 50 years ago, the Arabs said there's no such thing as Palestine. If you said Palestinian 50 years ago, everybody thought you were referring to Jews. The Palestinians, quote unquote, 50 years ago meant the Jews. The Arabs themselves, 50 years ago, not thousands of years ago, 50 years ago said there's no such thing as a Palestinian people. I mean, what absurdity. What utter absurdity. And now we go to From Educated Rebellion 101. Okay, let's see how educated this rebellion is. And I quote, notice the real trend here in all of these conflicts over the Mideast, which is obviously the religious brainwashing. What would happen if education prevailed and all learned that Jesus was based on the earlier Druid sun god Hesis, Mithras, etc.? Then Moses was Akentation, I don't know how to pronounce it. Solomon was Amenhotep the third. The hymn of Atem is found in Psalms. It was a pharaoh, Ptolemy, who first put the Tanakh together, and not a Jew who did that first. Seems more Egyptian than Jew or Christian, unquote. You have a slight problem here, so-called educated rebellion. By the way, your rebellion is uneducated, but you have a slight problem here with all of what you're writing. The Bible that was given to us by the Jewish people thousands of years ago, the Bible that we found with the Dead Sea Scrolls that 2,500 years has not changed. At least 2,500 years has not changed, and in fact, it's older than that. But the Bible from thousands of years ago is coming true in our day. 10 of ye shall chase 1,000 of them, and 100 of ye shall put 10,000 of them to flight, it says in the Bible. The Jews, outnumbered 100 to 1, will return to their land after a long night of exile, and will win miraculous, breathtaking victories. The Jews, outnumbered 100 to 1 in 1948 and 1967, beat all of the Arab Muslim Nazi enemies and won incredible, spectacular victories in just 6 days. Israel quadrupled in size in just 6 days. Everything that it says in the Bible is coming true. It says in Israel, the desolate city shall become habitable again. It says that the desert was going to bloom like a garden. Israel was like a desert 150 years ago, and even 100 years ago. It was a malaria swamp on the coast, and inside it was like a desert. You can read what Mark Twain and everybody who visited Israel said. You can read the reports from the British who were there saying that there's nothing here that you... Mark Twain said he didn't even see cactus plants there. Cactus you grow in a desert. He said this is worse than a desert. Now if you go to Israel, it is so lush, it is so beautiful. It is such a magnificent country, flowing with milk and honey, now that the Jews have returned, that even Jew-hating Nazis in Germany, in Europe and in Germany, buy huge numbers of Israeli fruits and vegetables. They can't get enough of it because it's the best fruits and vegetables in the world with the widest variety in the world. This little country has turned from the most desolate country in the world to the most lush, beautiful, magnificent country in the world. Everything it says in the Bible is coming true. For you not to believe and understand that doesn't make you an atheist. It makes you blind. And now we go to Old Joe 5, who writes, since Israel insists on being recognized as a Jewish state, I think we need to know what that means. Presumably it means that a certain minimum level of citizens must be Jewish. What is that level? Unquote. First of all, if we were in charge of Israel, we wouldn't care who recognizes, who doesn't recognize us. We would be a Jewish state. And we wouldn't beg anybody for recognition. We don't need anybody's recognition. We don't care about that. We're not interested in being recognized by anybody. We have a right to the land of Israel. God recognizes Israel as a Jewish state, and that is what is important to us. And as far as Israel, there's no question that the vast majority of citizens in Israel must be Jewish. Israel must be overwhelmingly Jewish. And that the non-Jews who live in Israel, the small non-Jewish minority that will live in Israel, has to be a non-Jewish minority that recognizes and believes in Jewish sovereignty and supports the Jewish state and supports Jewish sovereignty in the state. That's not what we demand. That's what God demands in the Bible. Those are the laws of the Torah and the Bible, and those are the laws that really decide the destiny not only of Israel, but of the whole world. As goes Israel, so goes all of the world. This tiny little country is what decides the destiny of all of humanity.
שבתי את שבות עמי ישראל